Hi, my name is Elton Campbell. I am Elton Too Bold. So I'm at Dufferin and Eglinton. Me used to live in other area here. I used to live in this area, the Fairbank area specifically. And I come here, I come for kin around me here and thing, because I have a shoot tomorrow. And I am here and I just remember the times like when men just come to Canada, like within the first 3 to 4 years when me first day in Canada. I mean, I remember the amount of times I used to wander off. I say some serious wandering off, where me end up in some place where me I see hill and valley and um me I see hill and valley, me I see Pitney play area and all of this, some the slides and swing song and all of this, some there. And me need to look for them picture there, cause I don't know if me take picture on the way. Cause me usually do this something, me usually walk and take picture. Like anything seem alluring to me or interesting or stand out to me, me usually take picture of it. So me need to look for them picture there, but a lot of these things, when me remember them, it kind of feel like a dream. It, it kind of feel like a dream. That's what me I say. Kind of feel like a dream, me a dream. I can hardly remember it, and me I think me I say, when I go through some really severe chronic depression, like me I go through it, and me didn't get the support. I wasn't getting the support, so like I have nostalgia, like coming back here. I kind of have nostalgia. Yeah, me just a show off the style, because I got my hair cane road, corn road, whatever you call it, braid. We call it cane road in Jamaica. So I got my hair cane road, and I'm gonna talk about more about the depression, the major depressive disorder symptoms that I was having, and just get a little rundown of all of that. So as you would see in the previous clip, I went to the Fairbank village area. I used to live in that area. It's by Dufferin and Eglinton, within that area. And I went there to get my hair, cornrowed. Tell me if you like it in the comments. Tell me if you like it in the comments. So yeah, remember to subscribe and share and like, and so yeah, tell a friend them. Tell a friend them and share with a friend them. So while I was there, as you would have seen in the previous clip, I was having some nostalgic feeling, some flashback while I was there waiting on the hairstylist. And there are many things that I can't really remember in detail. It feels like a faint dream at times, and certain parts I just can't remember at all. I migrated to Canada in 2016, and it's 2024 now. Yeah, it's July. Yeah, July already. July 2024. I migrated in 2016. In the springtime of 2016, I came to Canada. And I came to Canada while undergoing a depressive disorder. So in Jamaica, I've had several major depressive episodes, and all of that was never diagnosed. So while I was in Jamaica, I tried seeking treatment. I was at the doctor almost every week, especially in the between 2013 to 2015, especially the closer parts of 2014, 2015, that part. I was at the doctor almost every week because I was having major depressive episodes, panic attacks, and anxiety attacks. At that time, I didn't fully have the language for it, but I had the description. The description of it, I could give like a doctor the description of what I was going through. But in Jamaica, like a lot of times people put religion over common sense. People say that, well, a lot of Jamaicans like to say that Jamaica is a Christian country. I don't agree with that, because if Jamaica is a Christian country, why is the crime rate like that? I will attend school or a function, and there's this big devotion. Like, they can't start the meeting, they can't start anything without having a devotion. And I'm thinking, if Jamaica was actually a Christian country, you would have your devotion at home. Like, majority of these people don't have devotion with their family and with their neighbors, but you're holding me hostage before a meeting or school for your devotion? Like, no. So when I came forward, and yeah, I was having a lot of suicidal ideation and those kind of stuff, self-harming tendencies, and I wasn't like secretive about this. I was like always open about it, and a lot of times people saw that as me seeking attention, or because you're not a Christian, according to them, because you're not a Christian, that's why you're having these difficulties. It has nothing to do with that. Christian people, whatever religion you're from or affiliated with, people within every group have some kind of ailment, whether it is physical or mental. And mental disorders in Jamaica is looked down on. Like, nobody wants to be affixed to any of those labels, because according to people who see things as you're mentally ill, it's like you're supposed to be crazy. You're supposed to be this madman who eat out a garbage bin. And I wasn't acting like a madman who eat out a garbage bin. So according to them, nothing was wrong with me. And when I when I watch like videos, like educational content on mental disorders, specifically depression, major depression, they speak about this Kindle effect, where if you go through an episode and you're not treated and you're never treated during that episode, even though it may seem as if you've recovered and everything is back intact, like everything is normal again and you're well, the next episode, if you're one of those persons who have recurring episodes, which I'm one of those persons, the next episode is going to be really, really, really bad. It's like it gets worse. Each episode gets worse if the individual is not treated. Most cases show that. So for me, each episode that I was having got worse. There would be some small window of me recovering, but then again, when the next episode happened, it would just be worse. And I remember in 2014, 2015, I went through a massive depressive episode, and I was at the doctor like every week, and this doctor was so fixated on Christian religion. He was giving me Psalm and St. John this and that to read from the Bible and all of these things. Me, who I don't subscribe to any religion. I don't subscribe to any religion. Like, those are not my beliefs. But he was never taking my symptoms serious, and I was going back every week. And I'm telling you, during that time I was like so suicidal. I was so broken. I had back problems. I had my feet they were in pain. My lower abdominal area was in pain. My eyes were in pain. My head was hurting a lot. Like, I was so sensitive to light. It was crazy. It was really, 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 really crazy. And I didn't stop going back to the doctor because I'm like, something is wrong. And the doctor would be like, why are you stressing out yourself? All you have to do is cast your burdens on Jesus and all of that, blah, blah, blah. But what I required was medical attention. So I didn't stop going back to I didn't stop going back to the doctor, as I said before, like consistently, until the doctor eventually got tired of me and said, look here, I'm going to prescribe something for you. And what was prescribed was, I believe it was Prestique. I was put on 50 mg or something milligrams. I don't remember the measurements or the portion, I should say, but I think it was 50 something, 50 milligrams probably of Prestique. Correct me if my measurements are wrong as it relates to milligram and so on, because I don't remember quite clearly, but I knew it was Prestique and it was 50 something. And he put me on that medication for 6 months. Nobody at work where I used to work knew that. Maybe one person knew that I was on medication, but they didn't really know what it was. The working environment in Jamaica at times, a lot of times, can really be a toxic environment with a lot of ignorance, just the same. So stuff like that I don't discuss at work or in the workplace in Jamaica. I try and handle like my personal issues. I deal with them on my own outside of the work environment. I could not take any more toxic behavior, like, no, because I already had that toxic behavior from the doctor and denial of certain things. And when I was on that medication, like, my jaws felt weird, like they were tightening. But after a while, I started to improve. I started getting better. I started feeling better. I wasn't 100%, but the elevation had started. Like, I started to feel elevated. But the side effects were not my type of not my type of side effects. Well, I've been on since then, like coming to Canada, like 3 years after being in Canada. I've been on so many antidepressants, I've lost count, because they don't really work fully for me. They don't really work fully, and there's always some side effects that are just not tolerable, or yeah, that causes me not to be able to achieve my daily objectives. Yeah, it helps, but it still doesn't put me in a position where I can function effectively, like at a certain level, which the capitalists of this society wants me to function at. So I'm still having difficulties. But so I was on Prestige for 6 months, and that was within 2015. Yeah, somewhere within 2015, I was on Prestige for 6 months. I came to Canada in 2016. I believe, I believe that during that time, I was still going through a major depressive episode. But when Prestige, I was placed on Prestige, and I told the doctor that I'm feeling a bit better. The doctor was like, "Really? You're really feeling better?" So I don't think the doctor had faith, probably had faith in some Jesus or some sky god, but the doctor did not have faith in the medication that it would actually help me. Yeah. So I guess I am not eating out of garbage bin. I'm not on the streets dirty and eating out of garbage bin. So there's no way I can have a mental disorder. So the doctor was shocked when I told him that I am starting to feel somewhat better. I'm not 100%, but I I could feel I felt elevated. So I came to Canada in 2016, spring. It was during spring of 2016. I will do another video on that whole coming to Canada thing. Right now I'm focusing on major depression. So when I came to Canada, I believe that I came while having a major depressive episode, and me being undiagnosed, because as what a lot of people will tell me is that you're too smart, you're too this, you're too that, and stop seeking attention. Nothing is wrong with you. And I've seen, when I came to Canada, I saw a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I don't know which one. It was so long ago, like 8 years ago, over 8 years ago. And this person wrote that in the findings that I'm lying. I'm being dishonest, which that further pushed me away from like seeking like professional help. Like that pushed me away a bit further, because you know what's strange? I remember being on the streetcar back then. Back then it was the older type of streetcars, not these upgraded, modern, newer type of streetcars here in Toronto. It was the older type. I remember going on that thing, and as I've said like earlier on, there's some things I can't remember. I just cannot remember fully. But I remember having panic attacks and anxiety attacks while on that thing. I don't know what that thing was, but it was a streetcar. It was a streetcar. I'm like, and I remember getting to that office. I was probably like 15 minutes late or so, and I apologized, and I will just say medical practitioner, because I don't know if this person was a psychologist or psychiatrist. And when I arrived there, I was having a panic attack. It was quite obvious. This person, I believe, was just racist. Yeah, racist white man. Like, he was damn racist. So he didn't do his job. He was shouting and shouting. It's either yes or no. I don't want to hear any explanation about anything. It's yes or no. And I don't think an assessment is done like that. Like, certain assessments cannot be done like that, where somebody's shouting it's either yes or no. Certain things require explanation, because maybe certain things I can't explicitly say yes or no, but upon explaining it's a answer can be taken from that. That would be important. So that assessment was very trashy, from a trashy behaving person. They were behaving quite trashy, quite buto, as what we would say in Jamaica. The man when they behave like some piece of old buto, racist too. And yeah, that pushed me away from getting any kind of help or support, any type of help or support whatsoever. And so 2016 was rough. I remember this is what I can remember during those years. Sometimes waking up and I just wanted to die. Like, seriously, I wanted to die, or I was disappointed that I didn't die. Like, I woke up and I'm like, what the hell am I still being? Why am I still here in existence? Like, it was really bad. It was really bad. And I was struggling. Like, I was really struggling, and nobody really saw that, hey, something was wrong with me. So I was struggling really badly, and I was trying. Like, I tried job hunting. I tried a lot of things, like a whole lot of things. Nothing was successful, because I was like, I needed support. And you had people out there who, like, they bashed me to say that I am looking for people to sorry for me, and I'm looking for freeness, and it wasn't anything like that. You can't support somebody, without giving them $1. I really critical support that I needed was somebody to help me in terms of the mental health aspect, in terms of, like, someone could have helped me get professional help to navigate the system, because I'm new to the country. I was new to the country back then. I think in 2016 or 2017, later on in 2016 or 2017, I don't remember exactly, a lady online invited me. I met her at one and two events that I had attended, like a play. I think it was a play or info session. I don't remember which one was it or if it was both. And those times I used to use like Facebook a lot. Used to use Facebook a lot. I don't really use Facebook anymore. Sometimes I disable my accounts because yeah, I think I've received a lot of online bullying on that platform. So sometimes I'm just not into that platform at times. But I still use it now and then, but not as how I used to use it before. And yeah, back to the lady. So this lady online invited me to her place. She's gonna help me get professional help. She's gonna help me get professional help and all of these things. And maybe you have some mental condition and medication can help and blah blah blah. But this lady knew that I was struggling mentally as she invited me. Like, obviously, something wrong with me. And I was struggling, like, literally, I was struggling. Like, I was struggling, like, struggle, as in struggle, panic, anxiety, and the depressive episode, all triple combo, all at once. And I arrived at the subway station. Those times I wasn't that pro at navigating bus, streetcar, and subway. I'm a pro at it now. Like, I can train somebody fully how to use it. The TTC in Toronto. I can train people to use TTC in Toronto. Like, I'm a pro at it right now. But then I wasn't a pro. I was still new to the country, and I arrived at the station to get the streetcar to get to wherever she lives. I couldn't even navigate maps properly because in a depressive episode, when I am in a depressive episode, I can't focus. Like, I will make errors like constantly. I can't focus. I have chronic fatigue. Yeah, I have words for them now. I used to describe the feeling, but now I have words for them. So I experience chronic fatigue and I can't focus. These are two symptoms, two of many symptoms. So I arrived late at that station and I messaged her and told her that I won't make it on time. She said that she had, I think, an appointment or work after that, but she was outraged how she was speaking to me. It was like as if me do something terrible, and I did it on purpose, and the exact words weren't used, but the attitude, the rage. And I'm thinking, why are you angry at me and you know that I'm not well? Yeah, she knows I'm not well. So I in my crazy self, my mash up mental state, I said this woman, this lady, she ain't genuinely reaching out to help me, because if she was genuinely reaching out to help me, she would have understood. I get it that there may have been some disappointment, but the reaction wasn't kind at all. And I just disassociate with her. I disassociate with a lot of people who had that same kind of vibe or attitude. And I sunk further in depression. Like I went further downhill. And like other people, they put this big expectation on me, like this big expectation. I'm supposed to be this type of person. Nothing is wrong with you. So with me, like everybody, or a lot of people had their issues or had their problems, and I used to run up and down like idiot. I used to run up and down in snow, minus zero, some not minus zero, sub zero, sub-zero temperatures. I used to run up and down in sub-zero temperature. I'm always trying to support somebody. I'm so kind and I care about people, and when it came to me, hardly anybody gave a damn. When it came to me, when I am going downhill mentally, I didn't receive I didn't receive a fraction of that care that I gave to other people. And if at one or two moments, because irritability is another symptom, like if you're pissing me off with foolishness for too long, I'm gonna get really upset, and I will cuss. I will cuss you. Like me cuss you, but me cussing you don't mean that I dislike you or I hate you or anything, but you piss me off, me go cuss you. And if you do it, because usually I'm not going to cuss on the first time, the second time, the third time, sometimes even the fourth time, I won't cuss. I will make it clear that I don't appreciate you doing this, and yeah, I will let you know that. But when it reaches the third or fourth time of me warning, it's a cussing is coming next. So when people do me stuff after receiving warnings over a period of time and I cuss them cut me off. And it's weird because and like people who I still speak to this day, the majority of them don't live in Canada, or they don't live in Canada, by the way. They understand that me getting riled up and cussing after giving so much warnings, it doesn't mean that the friendship has ended or the association has ended. Like, it means that I'm really upset because I've given so much warning. I'm not the type to just come and cuss somebody just like that. You're gonna get warnings, or we are going to talk about it, why this thing is not so kind, or why it is offensive to me. So you actually get a lot of warnings. I don't just come and cuss people. But here I realize when I get out and I cuss, I get cut off. Or if I speak up for myself or speak up for my rights, I get cut off. I'm a bad person. So I've lost a lot of people who I had associations with. I really don't mind, because I need the benefit. I wasn't benefiting from those interactions. I actually was giving of myself versus receiving any care, empathy, anything in return. So not a big deal to me. Them can go on them ways. People also cut me off because I'm going through a depressive episode, And don't come to me with no Jesus anything when I'm going through my depressive episode. Don't come to me with any toxic positivity. Those things get me out. Those things get me really upset. So I don't want to hear any of those stuff. I don't want any of those stuff to be pushed on me. They're not helpful. They're actually more damaging than helpful. And many people don't like respect that, and because I'm the type, I am not accepting it, people cut me off. Or it's time I stop behaving like this, they cut me off. Or they have this ideology, all you need to do is take a walk and drink some water and whatever. That does not work. These things don't really work during a depressive episode. And I started school in 2017. Started school in 2017. My BA degree in sociology at York U, Glendon campus. And it has been a struggle. It has really been a struggle. On the basis that I was battling with a depressive episode constantly, and it wasn't diagnosed. It wasn't until around 2019 one of the professors actually said, look here, because usually I went to his class in 2017, 2018, but part of 2018 and 2019 I started to decline. Like, I wasn't coming to classes, anything. I would be at home. I would be at home in bed like for weeks. And if I do go anywhere, it's just 1 and 2 times, but I would be down for weeks. Or even if I was up and down, trust me, I don't know how I managed during those times, because I was really going through it. Even when I was working, trust me, I was really going through it. And I remember like supervisors would say, oh, it looks like you're tired or whatever. I was having chronic fatigue. And many times I came to that workplace and I was having suicidal ideation. I was mash up big time, mash up. But people, all they saw was, why are you behaving like this? Nothing is wrong with you. Why are you behaving like this? But in 2019, the earlier parts of 2019, the professor asked why I'm not submitting my assignments, and like I've missed a lot of classes. And I told him what was happening. And he says, I can't give you accommodation unless you are registered with some mental health whatever at school, some wellness thing, well-being, mental health, whatever. The process is that you have to register with them to get certain type of accommodations. The type of accommodations that I needed at the time. And I remember going there. He says, because he told me, fight for it, because there are other people who have accommodations who it's not as extensive as what you're going through. Not that he was like putting down their experience, but he said that whatever I'm going through, it's critical. It's critical and it's not being managed. So I should go and fight for it. So I did go to this office, and they told me I needed a diagnosis to be registered for whatever. Oh my goodness, that was. They gave me this long, never-ending form for me to fill out, and my doctor to fill out. At the time, I didn't even have a doctor. It was really bad. If someone had asked me to find a doctor, because here you have to apply to a doctor's office or to a doctor, and then you're accepted, and then you will have a doctor. It's different in Jamaica. So a doctor can not be taking any more patients or clients or whatever. So the system required me to have a level of focus, a level of well-being. If I'm not well, how can I apply to have a doctor and go through these processes? I remember at the time, the accessibility well-being office at school, they gave me a never-ending form, and I could not fill out that form. I was not functional. It took me at least 4 months to finally fill that form, to fill out that form. And the people within the academic advising office and financial services office on campus, they were very helpful because I was not functional, and they were very helpful in guiding me. Yeah, they were very helpful. Like, I'm so grateful that these people working in that office, they were very helpful, and they advised me and provided a couple resources and so on. And yeah, I reached out to an organization. I used to attend their programs like consistently over a period of time since I've been in Canada. I think 2017 I started attending their programs, and I was attending it for quite a while. I I aged out. I aged out, so I had stopped going for a while, and they were the ones who helped me like apply for a doctor. Like, they literally sat me down like a 5-year-old, and they helped me apply for a doctor, and they even was interested in feedback. Did it go well? Is this someone you think you could work with as a doctor? They were very helpful, and that's how I finally got a doctor. So that's how I finally got a doctor, and the doctor did some assessment, and the diagnosis was made: major depression, anxiety, and panic. And hearing those things, it kind of felt out of place because I've been denied. My reality has been denied for so long, and then I am vindicated, like immediately vindicated by this assessment, the doctor assessing me. And I was put on medication and therapy and all of that. And the therapist, because I wrote articles, I write now and then. So the therapist read one of the articles that I wrote, and requested that I ask the doctor for a psychiatrist to do an assessment, and the doctor got a psychiatrist, and another assessment was done, and yeah, major depression, panic, and anxiety, and I was placed on medication, like medication thing, and um, Zoloft, yeah, sertraline, Zoloft. That's the name of the medication I was placed on, and yeah, the dosage changed along the period that I was on it, during the months I was on it, and I got some therapy, and everything improved, like school, everything improved. Like, again, it wasn't it wasn't perfect. I wouldn't say that I was well. I wouldn't say I was well or recovered, but I improved significantly during that time. So that was from 2019. The earlier parts of 2020, that medication stopped working, despite the doctor adjusting the dosage. That medication just stopped work, and yeah, I went down again in a severe depressive state, and I did reach out. I reached out a lot. Yeah, because I also saw a psychiatrist on my campus, and she was very helpful, and she was saying that she never diagnosed me though, but she was saying that the next time I'm having one of these episodes, I need to reach out in advance so it doesn't get this bad. And I did reach out, but one lazy, incompetent psychiatrist they, they, they had at the school was not helpful. Yeah, I'm the woman that make us out. But either way, these mental health practitioners that the school provides, a lot of times they are not there long term, so they constantly change. From my experience, that's what I've experienced. So the proper one was not working there anymore, and then this incompetent one was working there, and yeah. So everything went downhill. But last year I actually used the service, and a competent one that was competent helped me during that time last year, was helpful. I I'm still not better. I'm still not better. I'm still struggling. Still struggling. I still have anhedonia dealing with, and many other symptoms, like many other symptoms. But sertraline, Zoloft, whichever name you call it, stopped working a year after I was placed on it, about a year after, and my mental health went down, like, not like this, it went. I did reach out to a lot of persons for support. It wasn't granted, on the basis that, oh, it's a pandemic time, and that was the talk. It's a pandemic time, everybody's going through it. Why do you think that you're this special person? You're too negative, you're too. So I didn't get the support that I needed at that time. And from 2021 to 2020, from 2020 to 2023, 3 years straight, I I'm telling you, it was hell. It was really hell. I was almost homeless, was almost homeless. I ended up having a lot of debts because the government service, the people, some of the people, not all of them, but some of the people who I had interacted with for some kind of social support or disability support, they they were ableist. The way how they behaved towards me was very ableist, xenophobic, and racist. Those three, I can name them: ableist, xenophobic, and racist. And it wasn't until, I'm telling you, it was really bad. They even called the cops on me at one point. That's a long story. I probably will do a video specifically on that experience because I've had that experience several times, like 2 times now in this country, where somebody think that it's a great idea to call the cops on somebody who is black and having a mental, in some kind of mental episode, like having a depressive episode. Police are not trained for that, and I say it again, police are not trained mental health practitioners, and they are violent. They're oftentimes violent towards people who are disabled and people who are marginalized based on many features of like sexual orientation, gender identity, race, ethnicity, all of these things. They tend to be violent. They have a history of being violent towards marginalized groups, marginalized people. So yeah, I've been through all of that. I've ended up on the streets of Montreal one time trying to help myself. Another long story. I probably will do a video on that at some point. Yeah, I probably will do a video on that on some point and release it here on YouTube. So you can look out for that. You can subscribe. Subscribe and follow the channel. So Elton Too Bold. So you can hear that story. That story is really interesting. Yeah, so between 2020 and now, I've been on a lot of medications, like different types of antidepressants, and some are worse than some are worse than some, but there are certain symptoms that are making life challenging for me at this time. So I'm not fully better as yet. I am back at school, like trying to complete this degree, because this whole mental health situation has disrupted my schooling so many times. And yeah, so I'm still at it, and there are many times I've said that, I'm giving up this whole school thing, or I am going to take a really long break. But for some reason I am still trying. For some reason I'm still there. I'm still trying. Yeah, so the video that you will see linked somewhere, or here or there, was a time when I wasn't getting any support and I was struggling, and a particular pharmacy that I no longer use denied me of my medication. They didn't want to give me my medication because I needed $6. And according to them, that's cheap. So I'm not gonna get it. And I called so many people, like, for support, and none pick up. This is the thing that I'm telling you about, that I spoke about, me running up and down when it comes to other people, and jumping and doing all jumping hoops and all of these things. And when it comes to me, oftentimes those people don't show up for me. It's the people who show up are people who have no business in showing up for me. They have absolutely no business in stepping up and showing up for me. Usually those people are the ones who show up, not the ones who I am running up and down for, or they need this, a jump. so yeah, that 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 caused me to get even more disorientated. I needed my medication at that time, and I became unstable. And really I am happy. I won't say happy. I don't want to use the word happy, but I feel gratified. Maybe gratification. That feeling of, yeah, that feeling that I did record that video, and I do my recordings, and I don't care like what people say. You're embarrassing, because some people like to say you're embarrassing yourself and you need to stop it, or you're seeking attention. I do my recording of those experiences because that happened in 2022, and now I can look back at that in 2024 and see exactly what had happened and why I was behaving like that and what I was going through. It is me recording the progression of me dealing with major depressive disorder. Maybe it's not helpful for most people, but at least one person out there, I'm sure, will not feel alone and invalidated by seeing a video like that. So that, yeah, that video, I was like, this is it. I'm not going through this anymore. Yeah, and I was having suicidal ideation in that video too. Yeah, because I reached out. Yeah, nobody came to my aid. And at that time I was going through withdrawal effects. That's why I no longer use that pharmacy. It's one of those popular pharmacy in Canada, and they operate several supermarkets, and I will not call no name. The person who's smart, we know what me say when me say I'm not calling no name. So they own a pharmacy, a particular pharmacy that's very popular here. Yeah. And just one person within that pharmacy that I went to had manners and respect, and unfortunately I couldn't get them every time I use that pharmacy. So I had to deal with some very terrible people. Sometimes I'm wondering if customer service is better in Jamaica. Because I'll say no more. Let's get on with the story. So I couldn't get my medication and I was having withdrawal effects. I couldn't think, I couldn't function. So I was reaching out to other people to help me, whether financially to $6, because I needed $6, and I had nobody to give me $6 at the time. At the time, I didn't have anybody to give me the $6, and yeah, or even talk to the farm, because the other option would be for them to talk to the pharmacist, because I am not capable of doing it due to withdrawal effects. There was nobody. So there are persons in the US, United States of America, who are on my Instagram platform, and they reached out to me and they provided some assistance. But because Canada is so backward when it comes to certain things, PayPal doesn't work, this doesn't work. The people in the pharmacy wasn't helpful in that pharmacy, which I will not call no name. They were not helpful because, and this is not the first time they are dealing with me in a very cruel way. Maybe I should do a video on them too. Yeah, but full of content. So yeah, so I got some assistance and I went back down to that pharmacy, which after that I was done with them. I didn't use them after that because they're wicked. They're evil to have treated me like that. And so I went back. The person who wanted to pay for the medication, the pharmacist was like, we don't accept that type of payment. We don't accept that type of payment. Which Canada is backward. They could have, I'm telling you, they could have given me a 5-day supply of medication and say, go and sort out whatever is happening and get back to us. They didn't do that. They were cruel. And I knew that when I went there, I had the correct money because I had tunies and loonies and quarters and all of these things, because I was so broke. I had no money. Like that that to pay for that medication, I sacrificed food and everything. I walked. I didn't even take the bus. I walked, which is a long walk, and being sick and all of that. And yeah, so while I was in there, I started you could say panhandle. I asked, does anybody have $6? And a Filipino lady gave me $6, and I thanked her so much, and that's how I got my medication. When I finally took the medication, and after a while, because things don't just get back on a certain level immediately. It took a while, and the danger of this was, I'm not supposed to skip these medications, and if I skip this medication, my body can reject it and it can stop working. or doing whatever it was doing. So that the pharmacy, people within that pharmacy was evil. They had no bedside manners, and I'm not calling no name. So yeah, after I leveled out a bit, yeah, I'm still sick, but as I said, some medications helped me to a certain extent. So I was able to sit and read the receipt and all of these things over and over and over. And what I realized was, instead of giving me 1 month of medication, they added additional months to it, and then don't want to give me my medication. So they were at fault. They were at fault. And they didn't even look on the thing and said, you know, it is 3 months or 2 months on this thing. Do you want just 1 month? They decided that you are going to get 2 months or 3 months, and you must pay everything because it's cheap. They are wicked. They are cruel. And I'm not calling no name. So on that video, I had to behave like that. I was nobody knows, like, nobody really knows the side effects that I have felt. Maybe other people out there who have similar conditions and have gone through like similar experiences understand, but majority of the people who I interact with or have to interact with in some way, online mostly, because we don't really have no friend in person like that, they don't understand, and they see having a depressive episode or depression as something that you need to be institutionalized. So either you need to be institutionalized, or you need to stop seeking attention and stop behaving like that, or you need to go and read some Bible, or read a book, some affirmations, and drink some water and stretch and walk, and it's not gonna fix it. It's not gonna fix it. It's not mild depression. It's not mild depression. It is chronic. It's severe. It's chronic and it's severe. So all of those things, you should do this and do that. Institutionalization is not going to help either. What I need is social support. Social support. That's very important. Apart from medication and therapy, I need social support, which that is very hard to access in this country. And social support can just be people visiting now and then, showing up, or saying, hey, I'm in your area, I'm taking a walk, do you want to join me? It is as simple as that. Showing up is very important, and a lot of persons who are not showing up, enough of them still not show up, but that's like whatever to me. People do what they want to do. I can't tie up anybody and say, look here, show up. You show up if you want to show up. Yeah, and some claim, oh, you need to go and work and this and that. I tried that. I was not able to because I am not well. If I'm not well, I need to get better in order to work. If I can't focus and I lack energy, and all of these symptoms, suicidal ideation, self-harming, this, that, how do you expect me to work? And the thing about it is that I have worked in the past. Like, I am one of the hardest workers when I'm actually at my best, when I'm actually at my best, not in a depressive episode, and at a certain level. Sometimes I feel like I'm always in a depressive episode, but a previous assessment stated that I also have persistent depression. They claim that I also have persistent depression, so maybe that's why I'm never at that high level of whatever it is. But there are times that I have worked or done projects and I've worked so hard. I am a perfectionist with some of these projects and stuff that I've worked on. Like I'm so perfect where a slight error, if something is slightly off, I have to do it over. Like I am at that level. When I'm well and functional, when I'm at a certain level of functional where mental health is not affecting me, and even when mental health is affecting me and I'm struggling, there are things that I've worked on and nobody would ever know that behind the scenes I am literally dying doing the thing. Like I'm struggling. I'm literally struggling. They don't know because I work so hard at it. And I put my all in it, and more than what I can give, I put into it. So when I say I can't work or I can't manage, it has nothing to do with wanting an easy life or whatever and this and that. I'm telling you, depression, Elton Campbell, Elton Too Bold is telling you that depression is something that even this podcast thing that I'm doing and all of those stuff, I was not able to do it for a long time, for years. I am trying now to pick up back the microphone. Like I'm trying right now. I'm still not there, but I am trying. I'm trying my best. But I'm telling you that depression is something, when that episode is activated, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I am not functional. Like I can't do anything. I can barely do anything. Can hardly manage. And it's like being in a tunnel. It's like being in a tunnel and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You can't turn back to where the light was. It's like complete darkness and it's like ongoing. It's like it goes on and on and on and on, and there's no damn light at the end of the tunnel. It's like it will never end. And it's not even me saying I am impatient, because I am a very patient person. I can be very patient. But I'm telling you, it's like being in a tunnel and that light, there's no light. And it's like endlessly walking in that tunnel. The light was maybe behind you and you turn around, there's no more light. There's an endless journey. I don't think a lot of people understand what it feels like. It's like a lot of negative thoughts, and I am not a negative person. I think I'm more like a realist. So if a tire falls off a car, I am not thinking, oh, thank goodness all of the car didn't fall apart. I don't think like that. I'm thinking like the wheel fell off, this car can't move anymore. How are we gonna fix this thing? What can we do to fix this tire, to get this tire back on this vehicle so it can move again? Yeah, so I don't know if that's a realist, but a lot of people tell me that I fall in that type of category. So I don't think I'm negative. I see things as what they are, and I don't need to silver line every cloud. I don't think every cloud requires silver lining. I think some things are just what they are, and it doesn't mean that I am sad or happy about it. It is just what it is. So it's not me being negative. But in a depressive episode, I can actually be very negative in the sense that I don't see any value in anything that I'm doing or trying to do, because like everything that doesn't go well, that will ruminate in my headspace. I don't have any energy, like no energy at all. I can't even spread a bed. I can't do anything. I can't cook. I can't prepare the meal. I have self-harm tendencies, so that's the next thing. I can't prepare my own meals because these instruments can be used to harm myself. I have a lot of suicidal ideation. Like, I do have suicidal ideation almost every day. So almost every day, like almost every 365 days of the year, if not every day, probably every day, I have some sort of suicidal ideation. But during a depressive episode, it's constant. It's right throughout the day, right throughout the night. I have trouble sleeping and staying asleep, and I either sleep excess. It's either insomnia or hypersomnia. Some episodes it switches. Some episodes I can't sleep, and some episodes I'm like sleeping for 22 hours a day. So like each episode, sometimes the symptoms kind of go to the other extreme, or that extreme to this extreme. I Me not being able to focus, there are certain things I can't do. I don't I experience anhedonia, which a lack of gratification, a lack of interest, zeal, enthusiasm. So I even experience that to this day. So a lot of things that I do when I seem passionate about and all of these things, I do care, but I can't feel it. I can't feel it, so it's difficult. So even assignments, as simple as they are, which a lot of persons would see, a lot of people find university to be difficult. I find it to be easy if my mental health is in check. When my mental health is not in check, everything becomes difficult, even the simplest task. So even assignments are difficult to do. A lot of assignments that I have done over the year, over this year, particular year, I felt nothing. I felt nothing at all, and it was very difficult doing something that I feel nothing about. Like, yeah, it's really a struggle. Weight gain and weight loss. If you look at pictures of me during the years, you would have realized that there are sharp changes, like extreme changes. Either I lose a lot of weight or I gain a lot of weight. This is in exception to, because I don't like eating things that contain gluten, because it causes me to bloat and have brain fog. So excluding those situations, it causes a lot of issues with weight gain and weight loss. And this can be very expensive, because a lot of my clothes that I have bought during my time here in Canada, like proper quality stuff, not cheap, because I bought quality because I want it to last. And I don't really go and buy clothes. Like, I will have clothes for 10 years before I buy any new clothes, or the clothes literally disintegrate before I buy clothes. And because of depression, the symptom, weight gain, weight loss, I lost all of my clothes because I either had to dump them or put them in donation bins. So I've lost a whole lot of quality clothes. Some burst, like literally bust open. Like, I used to have this pants, or many pants that I've had, that I was tripping. I was tripping on the leg area, the lower leg area of that pants, or those pants, because of how big they were. And yeah. And years later, here in Canada, like few years later, they can't fit, and they just burst open, just rip open. And yeah, it was so bad. I never had much clothes. Everything was washed out, burnt, torn. And there were people throwing like winter hats at me, which I didn't take, or putting it next to me, which I didn't take, because I think that is disrespectful. If somebody is homeless or living on the street due to whatever circumstances, you can offer them by saying, I have extra winter hats. Would you like one? Yeah, do it in a respectable way, a dignified kind of way. Don't just put it beside me. I just I left that. I left it. I never took it. I left it there. You're not going to treat me like that. Do it in a dignified way. Just as how I would go out there, and somebody who is experiencing homelessness and searching in the garbage for something to drink, I will say, do you need something to drink? I can get you something to drink if you need something to drink. You want water, you want soda, you want juice, what do you want? And a lot of times I am using my last money. I'm using my last money when I make such offers, because I think, because I know what it feels like to like have nothing or struggling. But in Jamaica I never lived like this. I never knew what hunger was ever in Jamaica. And like, I never knew what hunger was in Jamaica. I never went to my bed hungry. Or if I when I did go to my bed hungry in Jamaica, it's either I don't want the food that was prepared, or I don't know what to eat, or I just don't feel like eating. But in Canada, I've gone to my bed several times, not just one, two or three or four. It's over 10 times, more than 10 times, several times. I don't have a number, but I know that number is not below 10, where I have gone to my bed hungry because I couldn't buy food, and at the time I had no support. I didn't have the support that I needed, so I struggled. I struggled a lot. Still struggling, but even though the support that I'm getting now is inadequate, it's more than what I was getting back a few years ago, like when I came here 2016 to 2023. It was a struggle, like it was a huge struggle. So I'm just saying that reach out to your friends or people who you care about who are dealing with depressive, who are in a depressive episode, experiencing a depressive episode. And I'm not talking loosely as how some people say, oh, I'm feeling depressed because they didn't get a brand new shoe or something. I'm not talking that. I'm talking like the disorder, the mental disorder that's called depression, especially if they're having certain severe symptoms. Reach out to them, show up if you can, show up in person if you can, or if you don't want to go to them, invite them somewhere. And if you don't want to meet them or have any whatever with them, let them know directly. Don't lie and be like, oh, we can meet up sometime, we should meet up sometime, and then you never show up. You never ever ever show up. And then that's not cool, and that actually hurts. That actually hurts more than just saying, where I would like to talk online, I don't wish to meet up in person ever. I find that to be respectful, but to lie and say we should meet up sometime and all of these nonsense, oh, because it's so nice and sugar coated and fluffy, when you have no intention of ever meeting up, that's not cool, and it actually hurts more than if you were just honest. If you were just honest, yeah, we can respect that. We can say, yeah, you're honest, and yeah, that's how it is. But don't give any false hope of meeting up and all of those things. Those things are very destructive. It actually hurts, and it actually exacerbate. It actually makes certain symptoms worse. Yeah, so don't do that. But call your friends, as in pick up the phone and call them. If you can visit them, visit them. If you can't visit them in person, or you're not comfortable visiting them in person, go invite them somewhere. Go somewhere and invite them there. Yes, it can be very simple stuff. It can simply just be walking, sitting down. You don't even have to talk. Just show up. That's showing up is showing up is very powerful. And yeah, show up and stop calling police on marginalized people because they're going through a depressive disorder or whatever it is, get professional help for them, not police. Police are not trained. If someone calls the police on me, I want it to be like they call the cops because I'm having a depressive episode. I would rather it be that they showed up, they tried everything, and nothing was working, and that was the last resort. But don't do that as the first resort. Don't ever be somebody who doesn't show up, who doesn't this, who doesn't that, and then the first action is to call the cops on them. Yeah, it's not a good feeling, and it also can cause people to shut down. So if they're feeling suicidal, they may just not say anything. They may do instead of talking about it. And a person talking about feeling suicidal is actually better than them not saying anything at all, because talking about it helps to release that tension, and they may feel better at some point. They may not get better, but they may feel less like at the edge of the line. And don't silver line stuff. Yeah, so stop silver lining things like that. I don't know about anybody else, but it doesn't help me. And persons who have similar like depressive episodes and so on, they said the same thing. It's not helpful sometimes. And you have some people who I don't discuss anything unless it's to discuss about solutions. I don't like that attitude. If you have that attitude, don't talk to us. Just avoid us. Because you're doing more harm than good. You're not doing any good, in fact. You're just doing harm. Sometimes people just want people to listen, to just shut the hell up and just listen. Some things don't have a solution. Not everything have a solution, and not everything have an immediate solution. You get what I'm saying? And be careful. Seek permission before giving advice, especially certain type of advice. Seek consent. Ask for consent before giving certain type of advice, instead of just, oh, you should do this, you should do this, do that, because it may not be something that's workable. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody is different and everybody's experiences are different. And if they don't have a psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, doctor, whatever, help them to get one. Help them to get one. Even something as simply as filling out a form, that is very helpful. Something as basic as filling out a form to find a psychiatrist or whatever. You can stay on the phone with them or say, okay, let's try and find some resource together. And some resources, and it's not as simple, because some people think that, oh, you just go and get help and go on medication and therapy and you'll get better, and you don't want to get better on this. It doesn't work like that, because not every therapy is appropriate, and not every therapist is the right type of therapist. And being in therapy and on medication doesn't mean that you just magically get better. I've been on so many medications, I have lost count. It's not easy. It's difficult. So just be kind and be empathetic. And if you can't be kind and empathetic, leave us alone. Simple. Yeah. So if you have depression or ever experienced any depressive episode or any other mental disorders, I welcome you to comment below. Yeah, write a comment and tell me what it is and how you cope or how you are managing so far. Remember to like, share and subscribe. And this is Elton Too Bold, Elton Campbell, Elton Too Bold, and hope to hear from you soon and see you soon again. Take care. And that's my story about major depressive disorder. It's somewhat impromptu. Yeah, it is impromptu. And take care. Elton Too Bold signing out. Bye.